Beats Boxing Mayhem. Ismail Abdul Salam here with the legendary Jay Prince, Rap-A-Lot Records, also esteemed boxing manager. We're here at the Jamel Herring, Shakur Stevenson press conference. Just wrapped up, had a lively face-off. Mr. Prince, you had a great line at the end summing up this matchup. Would you mind repeating that for everybody?
Yeah, this is a Marine versus a ghetto soldier. And we can only imagine how this war gonna go down.
How much is it a difference between, growing up in the streets, having to survive that, and actually being in the military and having that different type of warfare? How do you see that clashing in the ring?
Well, I mean, it could be, six and a half a dozen. I think the major difference is, coming up as a ghetto soldier, that war lasts a little longer than a lot of the other wars. So I actually think the ghetto soldiers may be a little better conditioned for war than the Marines, even though they know how to use them rifles better.
Gotcha. And there's always, there's always that struggle between the older guys and the younger guys. You kind of see that matchup here. It's like a big brother, little brother type thing when Shakur feels he has to prove something. Do you feel that he's having to make this personal just to kind of motivate himself, kind of like how Michael Jordan used to do, making those personal matchups, even though it might not be that way on the other side, he makes it personal in order to get himself up for the fight?
Yeah, I think Shakur is a competitor, and anybody that come before him to challenge him, he's gonna tap into that power that's greater than the power of surrender to rise to the occasion where any of them are concerned.
Gotcha. So he mentioned Winky right up on stage in North Herring. You've managed a lot of great fighters, rest in peace, Diego Corrales, Winky Wright. How do you see Shakur's talent matching up with the guys you've had in your stable, or currently having in your stable, Andre Ward included, compared to those guys with Shakur?
Oh, Shakur is right there with all of them, you know what I mean? Because, first of all, his work ethic. When a fighter makes sure his work ethic matches his condition, then the sky becomes the limit. So he have a work ethic there, and then he have a heart in his chest that gonna really benefit him when the storm comes. He wants this thing, you know what I mean? And I like that hunger I see in him, where he's willing to walk through a storm to accomplish it.
Now, you're very familiar with the Atlanta market. A lot of the Houston MCs that you cultivated had a great following here. How do you see Shakur fitting in as far as the Atlanta scene, even on the music scene, as far as walk-ins and everything? How do you feel Atlanta will embrace him after this fight?
Oh yeah, Atlanta is going to embrace him, what I would call perfectly, because he's one of us. You know what I mean? Shakur is living down in Houston right now. So he's right in the heart of the South, and most of all, he's one of us in Atlanta, like real down-to-earth individuals. You know what I mean? And that's what they're gonna be getting where Shakur is concerned, a down-to-earth individual with no cut on it.
Gotcha. And I think we've actually had a recent anniversary, a Rap-A-Lot anniversary you might not be familiar with. I believe the anniversary was for the Ghetto Boys' first album, Ripping on Another Level. How do you feel, we're talking over 30 years ago, where hip-hop was then, where it is now. What's the biggest difference you see between when you were on the independent scene and the independent scene now?
The biggest difference, at least one of the biggest differences that tops all from back then to now, is the South is in control. You know what I mean? We had a game in a headlock, and it's been that way for a long time now, and we haven't released it. So, I enjoy that because, in the beginning of my era where the independence and different things was concerned, the East Coast and the West Coast had everything in a headlock, but what a difference a day made.
Right, gotcha. So you're probably also feeling a little deja vu. It seems like we're back here with this Drake and Kanye thing again. Is it serious, or is this more so just a competitive music thing from your standpoint?
Yeah, I look at it as a competitive thing with those two guys. Serious would mean to me that they trying to kill each other or something, and that's not happening. So rap is a competitive. I don't want to call it a sport, but it's a competitive art.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, rappers express themselves in a special way. But, you know, I'm enjoying it. You know, I just need a little balance on both sides, and that'll be happening soon.
Oh, really? So, are you hinting at we might be getting some direct records coming out?
I'm just saying it'll be happening. As far as I can go right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, touching on Kanye again, you know, he's actually getting involved. He has Larry Hoover's son on his album, which is surprising a lot of people. What are your thoughts on that as far as trying to get him out of prison? I think he's been in prison over 20 years now, close to 30.
Yeah.
Do you think it's time for him to actually come home, that he served his time, and that, you know, he should be pardoned at this point?
Yeah, he actually been in prison almost 50 years.
50, wow.
So,
Okay.
you know, I think that's one of the best tracks on Kanye album, as far as I'm concerned. You know, where Larry Hoover Jr. is speaking, where his father is concerned, and I love the idea of Kanye embracing that and giving him that opportunity. But you know, you have a situation there where my brother Larry Hoover is concerned, where racism at its best is, you know, just keeping a man locked down 23 hours a day, you know, in a torturous environment, as if he's a terrorist. You know what I mean? They got him next to terrorists and different people like that. And listening to the judge, you know, I had the opportunity to listen to the judge that you know, was on Larry Hoover's case, and even the judge said he had no idea that they would put him in a prison like that. So even he didn't wish that kind of torture on him.
Right.
So, you know, as we speak right now, you know, it's, you know, the slave masters, man, you know, that thing still exists in that prison over there, and they are exercising all of the slave master orders accordingly. And we're going to fight and change that real soon.
Got it. All right, so my last question for you would be, Malcolm X had this old saying about the gangster becomes the most dangerous when he becomes political. So on that note with Larry Hoover, you know, we have the GDs and the BDs. There's always been that speculation of what it's going to take to get all of them together. From your standpoint, do you think that's still possible to unite those sets into a unified front to make also a political difference?
Oh, most definitely. And believe it or not, that's what they don't want to happen. And that's why they won't give him any relief, because he is one of the people that could change Chicago overnight, please. You know what I mean? That's how much respect he carried. You know, he carried respect to the extent where the mothers, the fathers of all of those kids will unite with him and say, okay, I ain't gonna ask you to do this for nobody else, but let's listen to this man. He's one of our true leaders.
Okay, Prince, I appreciate your time. Looking forward to seeing you on Fight Night.
All good, bro.
All right, appreciate you, man. Take care.